contrary to what Carey wrote in the New York Times, I don't see psychology as being delivered a damaging blow. I think this is part of the process. It's kind of an interesting approach to the process. It's not our typical approach of being inspired by research and trying it out in our own way, but it's well within the realm of what researchers might do. We don't base policy or decisions on a single study. That's just a piece of the process.
I wasn't surprised by the ratio of studies that weren't, quote, replicated. And what surprised me was the language damaging blow, because to me, every project that I do, I mean, is going to be a possible failure.
Right.
So, I mean, it would shock me if you wouldn't have a failure to replicate a certain percentage of studies. I mean, that's how science works.
It's quite common at the undergraduate level that we might ask students to just reproduce a study for the sake of reproducing it to get that experience. But at the level where we're, at maybe honors thesis level for senior students, or at the level where we're really working on a project for the sake of publishing it, it's not very common that we would want to recreate a study exactly as it was originally done, but we might have a new idea for it.
Yes, so that what we can do is we can take the findings that other people have, and then we can do some changes to it, some adjustments, so that we can extend those findings, or look at alternate ways of explaining those findings, or something like that. But the approach that they took here of just trying to take an experiment and basically try to duplicate it exactly the same way is a little rare, I think.
Although it's not clear to me that they did exactly the same thing.
No, they didn't actually.
Given that this project was about trying to replicate for the sake of replicating, it's surprising to me that they didn't use exactly the same methodology.
Exactly. For example, one of them, the original paper was done on American students, and then the follow-up study was done on British students, which is a replication of a kind. And most of us would expect that you would find slightly different findings when you go from one population to another.